Hi, class. So for this, we're going to be evaluating the stages of the development of a relationship. Um, so for mine, I wanted to go ahead and evaluate a relationship or multiple relationships, I guess, that I've seen within my daycare class. I do teach a preschool class, so I have a bunch of 3-year-olds in my class, and so I've been able to kind of like watch this development of a relationship firsthand. So there is 5 stages of this theory. The first stage is going to be forming. So this stage basically is going to be when a student or a person is new to a situation or a relationship or an environment or any of those things, and they're kind of like in a culture shock, basically. So an example of this for me would basically just be when I have like a new kid come in basically, and say for instance she or he, they come in and they don't really know where they fit in the classroom. They've never been in a daycare before. They don't know how to interact with other students that are their age. So this time is something that they kind of use to get to know other students without having any conflict. So that's one of the most important things about the forming stage is there's no conflict involved. It's mostly just a getting comfortable type of stage. The next stage is going to be the storming stage. And the storming stage is the stage that does involve conflict. This stage is basically kind of like a power struggle where two or more individuals are going to be kind of duking it out to figure out who is going to be dominant, submissive, and how the relationship is going to work and intertwine overall. So, a lot of times in like my class, so I have a bunch of 3-year-olds. And so at any given time, I can have anywhere from like 9 to 18 3-year-olds in one classroom. And so you're going to have a bunch of kids that always constantly want attention and they always need somebody watching them and talking to them. And yeah. And then you're going to have the other kids who are content with going and sitting and doing a puzzle, who don't necessarily need that constant interaction and reaction, basically, from a teacher or from a student or anything like that. So this stage is going to be kind of similar to figuring out if you're going to be a dominant or a submissive. So a lot of times, something that I would say for this one is that a lot of the dominants will be competing against each other, whereas the submissives are okay doing their own thing. So that's where the majority of the conflict comes from, like in my situation, in my classroom. So the third stage is going to be norming. So this stage happens after there's been basically the power amounts have been established. So there's not really any conflict left. It's more just kind of settling into the level at which you're going to occupy within any relationship. So whether you're going to be crazy outspoken and in charge all the time, or you're going to be relaxed and do your own thing and just kind of roll with the flow. So this is all where you start playing out the norming stage of where you're going to be at, basically. The performing stage is really after the norming stage has ended. Kids are very sure of their stage and their placement along where they fall on basically the relationship scale, where they occupy, what they're going to be doing. Just their normal relationship starts functioning as it normally will until, shocker, the adjourning stage comes. So adjourning is going to happen with basically any relationship. In the adjourning stage, basically, these students or these people or whoever it is, they call quits to their relationship due to any number of reasons. So in my class, a lot of times kids quit interacting with each other when they are moved up to the older class. So I'll have kids for anywhere from 6 months to a year. And after that time, they get moved up, and then the kids are like, oh, okay, bye, nice knowing you. And then they move on and they start the whole cycle all over again in their next class. Um, so the adjourning stage is very typical in any relationship. It always comes kind of simmering to an end once everybody has gotten out of the relationship what they can get out and what they need and all those things, and then they will move on to something that is more fitting to what they need according to what time in their life they're at. So overall, that's going to be my description of the 5 stages according to kind of what I see in my classroom. It is kind of interesting to be able to look at and see the interaction amongst these kids because they don't really understand the power struggle thing yet, but like they don't have a name for it, but they know that it's there. So kind of watching them like place out where they fall on this scale is very interesting to watch firsthand, especially because they don't really know that they're doing it. It's kind of just in your in our innate reaction as humans to go ahead and express this power struggle and this development of relationships.